Welcome to NACTV Reads the Banner. My name is Catherine Jasnick, and I'm one of many volunteers that help create programming for our station. You may be joining us online at Neepawa Access Live, WCG 12, Channel 30 Direct Sightline, MTS or Bell Express View. These broadcasts are made possible by our volunteers, staff, advertisers, and donations by viewers like yourself. If you enjoy what you see and hear, please consider supporting us by a donation or by volunteering. Contact our office at 204-476-2639 or nactv@wcgwave.ca. And today I am reading the Neepawa banner dated May the 12th. And on the front page there is a wonderful picture of a scene from the NACI major production, which this year was Beauty and the Beast. And all 3 nights at the Roxy Theatre were sold out. It was a wonderful performance. And it's a very, very wonderful photo at the front here too, showing Gaston and all the crew. So kudos to them for a wonderful performance. And the lottery surpassing last year so far. And there's a photo up in the left corner. On May the 5th, showed volunteers were busy selling tickets for the Neepawa Farm and Leisure Lottery in advance of the early bird draw on May the 7th. The main draw will take place on June the 4th. The Beautiful Plains Medical Clinic Cash Lottery is showing great promise, as the 50-50 pot now stands at $78,960. Mary Ellen Clark, lottery coordinator, said, "That's higher than last year at this time." She added that the early bird draw was made on Sunday and the $10,000 prize went to Jean-Marc Lemoyne of St. Lazare, Manitoba. The main prize will be $100,000 or a choice of 2 farm machinery and 1 leisure vehicle package. Draw dates will be June the 4th. There will be 10 draws of $500 each and 5 draws of $1,000 each. Ticket deadline is June the 3rd at 9 p.m. The committee strongly encourages everyone to buy a ticket, as this is basically the only source of funding for the Neepawa Clinic and the planned expansion. The doctors pay rent and the med students pay rent for the suite, and that covers operational costs. However, the initial cost of renovation, the first expansion, and the now proposed second expansion have or will be covered with this local lottery funds. The area needs more doctors badly, and the only way to get them is to have an expanded clinic for the doctors to work in. And support has been great from actually all over Manitoba, so that is perfect. Hopefully, it will sell out this year. And a food marketing workshop comes to Neepawa. Entrepreneurs who are interested in bringing a food product to Neepawa's local farmers market but aren't sure where to start have a great opportunity to meet and learn from some experts at an upcoming presentation about local food on May the 18th. The event, put on by the town of Neepawa and Manitoba Agriculture, will be held at Arts Forward from 9:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. and is titled Growing Opportunities with Local Food. Marilyn Crew, Economic Development Officer with the town of Neepawa, facilitated hosting the workshop in Neepawa and is excited about the opportunity it will bring to the local food scene. First of all, it supports the local entrepreneur that may have had a food idea and wants to know what the next steps might be to test their market, she explains. The other side of that is the importance of our local farmers market held at Arts Forward. This ultimately would provide more food options at our farmers market. If our food entrepreneurs pursue their ideas and if they understand what it takes to present their food to the public, which is the point of this workshop, then they'll provide fresh and well-prepared appropriately prepared food for the public, and that will also grow our local farmers market. Manitoba Agriculture's Jane Kilgard, a business development specialist with small food processing, will be speaking at the event. She says the workshop will give participants information on what it takes to be a food vendor, as well as a coordinator for a food farmers market. Participants will learn about the food safety regulations required for Manitoba Health, tips on running a successful farmers market, as well as learn about some local initiatives that will assist markets and their vendors in marketing their local food products. She notes Manitoba agricultural staff will present information on the types of services and resources they offer to local food entrepreneurs that are looking to market their food products, how to understand consumer trends, as well as how to set your pricing when you start into the market. There will also be a local entrepreneur present to share with participants their business experience and recent success at the St. Norbert's Farmers Market. The cost to register is $20 a person, and those interested are asked to contact Kilgard at 204-461-2978. And there's a photo here, and the title is called Concert Comes to Onanoa. Emma Clooney and Dale Brown of the New Customs performed at a house concert in Onanoa Saturday, May the 6th. Emma's rich, powerful voice combined perfectly with Dale's fiddle, mandolin, and other unique instruments. That would have been a very... And my perspective column by editor Kate Jackman Atkinson is called Playing Up the Arts. Last week, Neepawa area residents had the chance to watch this year's major production, put on by the students at Neepawa Area Collegiate Institute. It was a fantastic show and a great opportunity to see all of the talent in our school, talent which I'm sure exists in schools across the region. Watching the students on stage made me think about what a valuable experience this was for them as they prepared to graduate into adulthood. For school divisions or governments looking to save money, fine arts programs, including drama, music, choir, visual arts, and dance, are usually one of the first items on the chopping blocks. That's an incredibly short-sighted path. The public, though, is generally supportive of these cuts, and many taxpayers feel that education should only be about core academic subjects, English, math, science. But should it? In high school, my courses selection was focused entirely on academics, AP Math, AP Chemistry, AP Physics, and the other mandatory classes in English and Social Studies. I did no arts electives, no drama, no band, no visual arts. Through a school change, I ended up learning the same calculus 3 times, once in grade 11, again in grade 12, and finally again in university. For all the advanced math and science I took in high school, I use none of those skills today. But what I do frequently call upon is what I learned in my one non-hardcore academic elective, debating. Not so much the actual act of debating, although I use some of those skills in my writing. What I use are the public speaking skills I learned in that class. I don't mind speaking in front of a crowd, and that's a skill I am finding to be increasingly rare among those of my generation. This is where the arts come in. In a world that is heavily reliant upon technology, teaching students advanced math and science is important to prepare them for further study in the STEM fields. But if we are talking about preparing students to become young adults and valuable contributing members of society, the ability to present yourself, speak with confidence, and work as part of a team are probably more important skills for many graduates. We have made physical education mandatory until graduation, And while health and wellness are important life skills, so too are the arts. There is a pretty strong consensus about the benefits of education in the fine arts. Beyond helping people see beauty in the everyday, arts education can improve students' reading, writing, and math skills. It can improve graduation rates. It can improve students' visual analysis skills, their ability to learn from mistakes, be creative, and improve critical judgment skills. It can connect students to the larger world and improve community cohesion, and it can improve teacher happiness. Even the RAND Corporation, the global policy think tank, originally formed to provide analysis and research to the United States Armed Forces, authored a 2005 report about the benefits of fine arts when it comes to connecting people and opening them up to new ways of thinking. Fine arts education should be mandatory for one reason. Most students need a bit of a push. Putting yourself up on stage or your work up on the wall and opening yourself to criticism is hard, but an important life skill. Teenagers can be awkward and insecure, but when everyone has to push beyond their comfort zone to continue to get up in front of their peers and community members, it becomes less of a big deal. Everyone is in the same boat. The time to make mistakes is in grade 11 or grade 12, not when you're in an interview for your dream job or pitching a business idea and your future depends on it. Without a doubt, budgets are constrained and everyone is concerned about their tax burden. But if we want to produce young people who can step into jobs and organizations and help grow our communities, we want well-rounded students, and the fine arts are a vital part of that. And that's a very good message for everyone to remember. And Rita Friesen's Homebodies column is entitled, "And When I Feel Afraid." I whistle a happy tune. Doesn't quite do it for me. The source of our fears change over the years, as does our manner of dealing with them. It's cute to watch a young child meet their own shadow for the first time. This gray and moving thing is mocking and evasive. Can't make it stop or go away. It follows wherever the body goes. Shadows don't scare me anymore. As I gently age, actually, I am railing against the advancing years, I draw comfort from a phrase found in Psalm 23. Even when I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Death is but a shadow. I love that image. As parents, we fear for our children, their safety, their choice of careers and partners, their success and failures, all resonate to our very core. We can provide them with all the tools to succeed in life, but the work is theirs. Many of us do the trust thing and then retreat to deep concern, worry, and fear, really. And now, watching the news and seeing how this old world of ours is spinning, I feel afraid. Afraid for the generations to come and what will be left for them to love and enjoy. Thankful that feelings are not facts. I recall meaningful conversations with my paternal grandfather. He had witnessed the Great Wars and the Dirty 30s and doubted that anything worse could ever occur. In his mind, these events symbolized the end of the world. It was indeed the end of the world as he had known it, but the earth remains. Some fears, things that cause me to be afraid, are quite irrational. I know that to be a fact, but it has not yet altered my reaction to a snake slithering through the grass or resting on a warm stone. No snake has ever harmed me. I try to rationalize. It's not the snake, it's the sudden movement. But if anyone gently presented me with one to touch and hold, I would not, could not do it. So it is the snake. I keep coming back to deep thinking about getting older. An ache in the night, one that keeps me awake, prompts me to consider arising from my bed and unlocking the door in case emergency personnel require access. It's a sore back, for goodness sake, or an aching hip or knee. Pick and choose. Our finances, that's a great thought to lose peace of mind to. So whenever I feel afraid, take a hard look at the facts of the matter. My children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren are mine to love and care for. They contribute to the contentment of my days. They are self-sufficient and equipped. They are fine. Fact, the world is no worse or better than it was, and I continue to do my part to make it as safe and sane as I can. Can't do a thing about snakes or aging. Fact. She always has such a good column. And New Beginnings helps those experiencing grief. The Neepawa Grief Support Group, known as New Beginnings, held their annual meeting on April the 20th with 7 members of the executive present. The meeting was chaired by Reverend Gladys Anderson. This organization was formed 18 years ago to act as a support to those who have experienced grief or loss by listening and sharing. We hold at least one free seminar a year where a trained person suggests ideas to people who have experienced recent losses. Also, local people have been trained to lead small groups of people through a time of loss in their lives by meeting over a period of weeks and exchanging ideas while still respecting everyone's right to privacy. We have also put on free suppers for men who have experienced losses and are willing to exchange ideas with other men. The group has developed a lending library of books, pamphlets, and videos, which are displayed in the health section of Harris Pharmacy. Over the years, we have received generous financial support from White's Funeral Home, the Neepawa United Way, the Neepawa Foundation, as well as certain government departments. This year, we are embarking on a new fundraising endeavor, which we call Cemetery Sagas. Tickets will be sold at Arts Forward, entitling the purchaser to take a guided tour through our beautiful cemetery on Friday, July the 21st, stopping at 6 different grave sites for a brief presentation by various actors and narrators who will describe why the people buried at these sites have been very significant in the history of the town of Neepawa. Spectators will be divided into groups of not more than 40, and each presentation will last approximately 10 minutes. Tickets will be numbered at half-hour intervals, starting at 6 p.m. Now that will be a very, very interesting evening. There's so many stories in the cemetery. And Plumas UCW prepares for Mother's Day tea. 6 members were present for our meeting, reporting 12 visits made to those sick or shut in. Thanks were expressed to those who convened, worked at, donated to the soup and bun supper. Also thanks to Gwen for working the door and to Claire for setting up the tables. Regarding the World Day of Prayer, $150 was sent to the committee. Marina Privy has returned the check for the monies for her purchases for the lunch. Wendy was reimbursed $146.90 for the garden ornament given to Marina Privy. Thanks to those who donated to the Easter breakfast and to the men who cooked for us. Thanks to the conveners who will be organizing the funeral lunch for the late Roman symbolist, to the workers and donators. Thanks also to those who will be helping at the Mother's Day Tea and Bake Sale, May the 13th. Regarding the Let No One Be Alone community event, we will again be preparing the salads. Correspondence included a newsletter from the Leprosy Mission and news from Stride CU that a term had reached maturity. Treasurer Laura gave the present report. Under new business, we discussed the upcoming Mother's Day Tea and Bake Sale, May the 13th, starting at 11:30 a.m. Fancy sandwiches will be made at 1 p.m. on the 12th of May. May 21st, Wendy and Norma will be in charge of a funeral lunch for the late Randy Bigalki. A motion was carried that we make our annual donation to M&S of $400 to the church M&S. Pollyanna reported on the month's activity with a balance of $71.75, and Gwen expressed thanks for the card and plant they were presented with on Easter Sunday. Adjournment and the Mitzvah Benedict closed the meeting, and upcoming events are the Mother's Day Tea on May the 13th, and the next meeting is May the 18th at 7 p.m. And out of Helen's Kitchen, it's called Feeding the Threshing Crew, and there's a photo here of Bert and Steve Arrow's threshing outfit west of Eden in the early 1900s. And this year, Canada is celebrating 150 years since Confederation, and she is spending the next several months showcasing some historic recipes in Canada's honor. Threshing in the past was a big deal. It was a long, hard process to get the grain to market. Grain was grown, cut, and stooked, put in piles of 9 to 12 sheaves. When it was dry enough, it was stacked to wait for the threshers to come. About 25 men came along with a steam engine, which included an engineer to run the engine and a threshing machine. The belt that attached the two machines together was 60 feet long. The stooks had to be hauled with horses and racks to the thresher. The bands that held the stooks together had to be cut before feeding into the thresher. The grain was bagged and hoisted onto wagons to be hauled away. The straw had to be taken away from the back of the thresher. It was all a dirty and dusty job. When all the stooks were threshed, the outfit packed up and went on to the next place. The housewife's job was busy enough, but during threshing time it became worse. With no microwave oven, refrigerator, or frozen foods to ease the work, the women cooked and baked for several days in a row, fixing huge meals for the threshing crews. Large platters of roast meat, pots of potatoes and gravy, vegetables and desserts, and gallons of tea and coffee were consumed. If all went well, good weather and no breakdowns, the men were around for about a week. There was often friendly rivalry between the ladies about who fed the men better. Everyone would pitch in, including the kids, who would run water to the ladies in the kitchen, wood for the stove, and lunch to the field. These two pie recipes are from an old cookbook from the early 1900s. And one is a custard pie, and the other is a date nut pie. And I won't read them out, but they look like you would just have your ingredients quite handy, and they look like they would be quite tasty. And an extra special Mother's Day gift. Spruce Woods Colony School is selling hanging baskets in support of mothers in a needy village. Spring has sprung and it's time to plant a little seed. Please help Sprucewood Colony School plant the seed of knowledge of a healthy start within mothers in a less fortunate part of the world. This small K-12 school on the Hutterian Sprucewood Colony near Brookdale in the Beautiful Plains School Division is once again selling hanging flower pots. These 12-inch pots were planted by the 39 kindergarten to grade 12 students under the supervision of the head gardeners, Gary and Colleen Woolman. With each student choosing their favorite flowers, there are a variety of unique and beautiful creations to choose from. At $40 each, your purchase of a basket will help bring health education to mothers in a needy village. The profit from the sale of these pots will be given towards WE, formerly the Free the Children Foundation, for family health workshops. What a better way to celebrate Mother's Day than by getting your mother a beautiful plant and helping mothers throughout the world help their families live a healthier life. This project is made possible through the resources, time, and coordination of the Beautiful Plains School Division, Sprucewood School, Gary and Colleen Woolman, head gardeners of Sprucewood Colony, and the up-to-date greenhouse facility on site. And continued on page 18. The greenhouse facility is complete with the latest technology for watering, fertilizing, temperature control, and airflow. The main building holds cold and freezer storage, office equipment shed, and potting rooms. Sprucewood Colony even has its own bees for pollination. With tomatoes ripening, flowers blooming, bees buzzing, and the laughter of children, it already feels like spring has sprung. If you are interested in supporting mothers throughout the world while thanking your mother for all she has done with this extra special Mother's Day gift, please contact Gary at 204-841-3404. And McHappy Day comes to Neepawa. Promoting McHappy Day on May 3rd in Neepawa was Ronalyn Lopez, Mayor Adrian de Groot, Saidi Galacio, Jason Panano, restaurant manager Joseph Wiggins, and Calvary Chapel pastor Evan Asselstein. The event is a major fundraiser for the Ronald McDonald House Charities. As that day, $1 of every Big Mac, Happy Meal, or McCafe beverage is donated to the charity. Ronald McDonald House Charities help families with seriously ill or injured children by providing them with a home away from home while their children are in the hospital. Oh, good for them. That's excellent. And successful year for the drop-in. The Neepawa 55-plus senior drop-in has completed another very successful and busy year. On April 13, we held a wind-up of activities and 30th anniversary of our facility. This past year, we put new cloth on all 4 of our 6 by 12-foot pool tables. Over the past year, we had floor curling on Mondays, floor shuffle on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and quilters who come Wednesday morning from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m., and Saturday, 12:30 until 4 p.m. We have a little bingo that goes from 1:30 p.m. until 3 p.m. weekly, with a treat the last Thursday of every month. The annual membership is $30. Our year goes from November 1st until October 31st. The activities start again in September, and the sheets will be out for sign-up for fall floor shuffle and curling the middle of August. The drop-in will be closed for 2 summer months starting June 17th until August 14th. Come join us anytime after August 14 and mark your name down for our activities, or come in for a game of pool or a game of cards, or just for a cup of coffee and conversation. This fall, we will also offer 1 evening a week of pool. Stay tuned for times and which day of the week this will be. For further information, phone 204-476-5103 from 12:30 until 4:30 Monday through Saturday. Following our members of the board for the year 2016-2017, President Dan Free, Secretary Treasurer Norma Reed, Lola Wark, Ellen Kudiski, Kay Christensen, Lionel Dagg, Bob Farrell, Betty Patterson, and Stan Ranke. And while we're on the back here, the RM of Glenella's new fire truck arrived on Friday, May the 5th. The new truck will serve the southern part of the municipality, the area that was formerly the RM of Lansdowne. And Fire Chief Brad Myers shows off the new fire truck during the Arden Crocus Festival on Saturday, May the 6th. On May the 5th, the Lansdowne Fire Department welcomed a new truck. Fire Chief Brad Myers said that the 2009 model truck is a big update from their old truck, which was about 35 years old. The new truck features seating for 4 firefighters compared to 2 in the old truck. Lots of storage and technological upgrades, such as an auto hose reel and hydraulic ladder rack. The truck will also allow them to hook their breathing apparatuses into the seats, which means they can don their suits as they travel to a fire. They are in the process of getting the truck safetied and set up with their equipment. Myers is excited about the truck, but adds, "The biggest thing is that we hope we never have to take it out of the hall," but added it will make attending fires much better. The department has about 20 firefighters, but are always looking for more. Anyone interested in joining the department can contact Myers. And cow pie cookies a winner. Carson Baker Center receiving first prize in one-person junior visual for his presentation, Cow Pie Cookies, during the Manitoba 4-H Provincial Championships on April the 22nd. Baker received the award from Carly Wetter, President of the Manitoba 4-H Council, and Minister of Infrastructure, Blaine Pedersen. Sounds like it would be a very interesting presentation. Glenella School wins in Eco Art Challenge. The grade 5 to 6 students in Glenella School have been awarded the first place provincial prize in the 3Rs Eco Art Challenge. The 3Rs Eco Art Challenge was a competition open to students across Canada as part of Waste Reduction Week. Students were challenged to design a creative poster that promotes the 3Rs, reduce, reuse, and recycle. More than 500 students submitted a design with 13 different schools across Canada being recognized. Glenella School is proud to be the school chosen to receive first place in Manitoba. As a result of winning, the school will receive a $500 grant that they can use toward an environmental initiative in their school or community. Turtle River School Division Superintendent Bev Zemesco would like to congratulate the grade 5 and 6 students in Glenella School for participating in and winning first place provincially in the 3Rs Eco Art Challenge. Zemesco went on to say that the division is honored to see this talented group of students recognized provincially. Glenella Principal Paul McDonald is excited to see his students and school recognized. Glenella School has an Education for Sustainable Development plan, and the school supports activities and challenges, such as this one, that promote and support student learning and sustainable development. McDonald went on to say that he is very proud of all the students and staff members in his school, and he was ecstatic that his school is being recognized for their amazing work. McDonald commented that Glenella School students are very creative and artistic, so it is no surprise that they would do well. Students and staff members are thrilled that they were chosen and being recognized provincially. This success means a lot to many of the students and is encouraging them to continue to work hard and participate in further events. And there's a couple of award-winning designs from the Glenella students that are shown here, and I don't know how well you can see them. And this is continued on page A14. And there's a really nice photo of the Glenella students, the grade 5 and 6 class. Plans on how the money will be spent have still not yet been confirmed, but classroom teacher Alexander Tahimic noted that his class would like to see the money be used on something that will benefit both the school and the community. The class is working with the school ESD committee to work towards a larger idea that wouldn't be possible without this grant. In support of Waste Reduction Week, Tahimic noted that the whole school engaged in different activities related to their grade and curriculum. Waste Reduction Week likes to recognize schools such as Glenella because they are truly making a difference in helping our future leaders take an interesting and leading role in waste reduction and environmental issues. To read more about this challenge and see other winning designs, please visit Waste Education Canada's website. Well, that was just excellent. Congratulations to the students. And the Beast roars to success. After many rehearsals at NACI and the Roxy, cast and crew performed memorable scenes in the 2017 major production of Beauty and the Beast. The musical event, staged over 3 days, May the 4th to the 6th, was completely sold out. The audiences were full of praise for the dialogue, singing, choreography, and humor. As always, Mr. Eric Godet and his crew constructed a wonderful set, enhanced by delightful costumes provided by Ms. L. Leland, Miss E. Hames, and Mrs. D. Reeder. Sadly, Mrs. Judy Zeke is retiring after many years of involvement in NACI productions as a director, choreographer, and set designer. Her replacement has big shoes to fill. These high school events, created every 2 years by Blair Chapman, never fail to impress the community, and one can be assured that the one in 2019 will be even more successful. Interested to see what they will be doing next for a topic. Minnedosa Council approves the budget. The town of Minnedosa has finalized its financial plan for the upcoming year. Council gave second and third reading to the document during their monthly meeting on Tuesday, May the 9th. The annual operating budget is $5 million plus, an increase of $265,000 from 2016. The budget includes funding set aside for several major local improvements, including a combined $466,000 budgeted for paving projects along 6th Avenue Northwest and 4th Street Southwest. $440,000 has also been allocated for upgrades to the sewer lagoon, $170,000 for Phase 1 and $270,000 for Phase 2. Other notable budget expenditure for this year include $200,000 for the replacement of a loader, $150,000 for the expansion of the fire hall, $130,000 toward the community's new primary care clinic, and $100,000 for arena repairs. Smaller projects receiving attention include demolition of the white display building at the former fairgrounds, upgrades to the town's emergency alert system, and repairs to the Minnedosa Community Conference Center. One of the most notable increases in expenditures can be found in the allowance for tax assets. The reason for the majority of the increase is a required payment to Husky Oil Limited after a property tax reassessment to its ethanol plant indicated that Husky had overpaid on its taxes. The municipality owed Husky Oil Limited about $700,000 backdated to 2013 with interest. A payment of $175,000 will be made through the tax assets. That's the second of 4 payments that will be made to Husky. In order to help cover the budget, Council decided to transfer $604,000 from an array of reserves. Mayor Ray Orr said they made this decision because it was very important for Council to do the best they could to keep the town moving forward while also keeping the cost to the average ratepayers under control. For the average property owner, the year-over-year increase to taxes will be about 1.9%. And the obituaries. Edward John Jarvie. Edward John Jarvie was born in the Grace Hospital in Winnipeg on March the 16th, 1931. Son of Robert and Marion Jarvie, who farmed about 9 miles north of Alonza. Robert and his dad were homesteaders in 1910. Edward, along with his 5 brothers, worked hard on the farm, raising cattle, sheep, goats, horses, a few hogs, and poultry. He told of cutting hay with horses on a mower when he was 9 years old. His younger brother of 8 raked hay with a dump rake pulled by a quiet old horse, whilst their dad worked close by. Edward remembered using 6 horses for disking and plowing the land at 16 years of age. He completed grade 8 by correspondence, as their mother was a teacher. All of the boys received a fair education. Edward married Angela Clark, daughter of John and Stephanie Clark, who lived about 16 miles north of Alonsa on December 31st, 1958. John Clark was a homesteader in 1916. Edward and Angela acquired a farm in the Reedy Creek area, which had been originally owned by Hugh Parrish and later owned by Roe Anderson. They grew grain, raised many hogs, cattle, horses, and poultry. Edward was a good welder, making some of his own equipment and repairing most of his own machinery. He made a portable wood splitter, a 15-bale stucker with forks to match, a swath turner, a 12-ton press, numerous wagons to haul hay, and many other items. Folks came from miles around to get welding done. The last major job was constructing cairns to mark old school sites. Edward made 4 of these. Edward and Angela were involved in many old-time dances. They assisted at the Asham Stompers Festival grounds for several years, cutting grass to maintain the grounds. They also helped at many community projects, like making the obstacles for the mini-golf course. Edward was predeceased by his parents and his brother Jim. He leaves to mourn his passing and cherish many fond memories. His wife of 58 years, Angela, 2 children, son Andrew John Jarvie, Stacy, of Cranberry Portage, Manitoba, daughter Mildred Anne Marie, Bob Nadon, of Portage La Prairie. His 4 grandsons, Matthew Jarvie, Rachel, of Gypsumville, Brandon Jarvie, Raven, of Leaf Rapids, Kingsley Jarvie of Gypsumville, and Robert Nadon, Amelia, of Edmonton. His 3 granddaughters, Megan Jensen of Winnipeg, Tori Como of Brandon, and Carrie Altenberg of Carberry, Manitoba, along with 2 great-grandsons and 8 great-granddaughters. His 4 brothers, Walter, Shirley, Robert, Harold, and Donald, Bev, and his sister-in-law, Jane Wu, and family, numerous nieces, nephews, extended family, and friends. He will be missed. Funeral Mass was held on Friday, May the 5th at 1 p.m. at the Alonsa Community Hall, with Father Jose Cabral officiating. Interment followed in Grays Ridge Cemetery in Alonsa. Pallbearers were Matthew Jarvie, Brandon Jarvie, Kingsley Jarvie, Megan Jensen, Tori Como, and Bob Naden. Should friends so desire, donations may be made in memory of Edward to the Canadian Cancer Society. John Keeping. John Keeping of Riding Mountain passed away April 26, 2017, at his home in Riding Mountain at the age of 50 years. John was born in Port aux Basques, Newfoundland, on October 3, 1966. He grew up with 2 brothers and 2 sisters. He went to school to become a laboratory technologist, which led him to Inuvik, Northwest Territories, where he met his beautiful wife, Pam. They continued their life together and later on married and had 2 children, Amy and Daniel. They continued to live up north, eventually moving to Rankin Inlet, Nunavut, for 9 years before moving their family back to Manitoba. John lived in Manitoba with his family in Riding Mountain before his passing. He will be dearly missed. John was predeceased by his mom, Elizabeth Keeping, and a brother, Danny Keeping. He is survived by his wife, Pam Keeping, son Daniel, daughter Amy, father Gerald Keeping, brother Darren Keeping, sisters Karen Genge and Lisa Wells. A memorial service was held on May 6th at the Riding Mountain Hall with Rita Friesen officiating. Beverly Faye Hanskin. On March 27, At her home in Neepawa, Beverly peacefully left this life to be with her Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. She had fought a long and valiant battle with cancer. Beverly was born in Flin Flon on March the 29th, 1950. She excelled in music, piano, and loved figure skating. She moved to BC in the 70s, where she worked for Utah Mining in Port Hardy as a computer specialist. Here, she also started teaching piano lessons to children. In the 1990s, she moved to Victoria, working for the provincial government. In 2001, she relocated to Neepawa, a small prairie town that she grew to love and where she developed several close and endearing friendships. Cherishing her memory are her brother Gary of North Vancouver and sister-in-law Sonia, her niece Krista and husband John, her niece Debbie Bobart and Tim of Pennsylvania, her uncle Ted Dobert, and her many cousins. Bev was predeceased by her parents, Mary and Joe Hanskin of Flin Flon, and her brother Ronnie. Beverly was a loving and caring sister and friend to all. She was very strong in her faith and tried to live, as she would say, one good day at a time. She will be sadly missed, but never forgotten. No funeral by her wishes, but interment will be beside her mother in Royal Oak Burial Park in Victoria, BC. Joanne Lynn Graham. Joanne Lynn Graham of Waskata, Manitoba, passed away unexpectedly on April 13th at home. She was a 36-year-old beautiful lady. Joanne grew up in many places, such as Brookdale, Burden, Brandon, Nanaimo, BC, Portage la Prairie, and Winnipeg. She attended Brownies, Girl Guides, skating, and Taekwondo. She did bicycle riding, skidooing, and riding a motorcycle. She loved a good yard sale or bargain. She worked a few places, so was a stay-at-home mom. She made friends easily, but her life was too short. She enjoyed coffee with friends and family. Her 4 children are her treasures that will carry on to greater courses and adventures. She was predeceased by her dad, Max Graham Sr., all grandparents, Uncle Gerald of Calgary, Alberta, Uncle Robert Steen of Winnipeg, Manitoba, and cousin Amanda Demare of Thompson, Manitoba. Surviving family are Lois Graham, mother of Winnipeg, Max Graham Jr. of Lenore, brother Eric, he was a brother, Erica Nelson, Greg of Portage la Prairie, sister, her children, Harley, Fleecy, Raquel, and Hope, daughters, who will miss her greatly. Also missing her are Gerald Frida Graham of Calgary, Merv Joyce Graham of Neepawa, Manitoba, Ross Judy Graham of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Irene Robert Steen of Winnipeg, Fred Mary Demare of Thompson, Mary Stevens of Brandon, Valerie Frank of Verdun, Martin Frank of Gainsborough, Saskatchewan, and Iris Berry Gompf of Oak Lake, Manitoba. There are many cousins, friends, and extended family as well, spreading across the country. The funeral service was held May the 4th at 1 p.m. in White's Funeral Home, Neepawa, with Pastor Trevor Berg officiating. A viewing for those who wished to say their last goodbyes was held prior to the service. Interment was in Riverside Cemetery in Neepawa. Donations may be given to the Manitoba Heart Association, the Multiple Sclerosis Society, or a charity of your choice. And those are the obituaries. We have a few more photos, just terrific photos here, of NECI's production of Beauty and the Beast. And I don't know how well you can see them there, but on the above left, Madame de la Grande Bouche, which was Jaden Lowe, produces a gown for Belle, Elizabeth Dobson, watched by Mrs. Potts, who was Claire Race, and Chips, Francis Bonatti. And above on the right, Cogsworth, was played by Ram Ignacio, discovers a winding handle on his back, watched by Mrs. Potts and Lumiere, played by Graham Chapman. On left, the Beast, Sean Peralta, sings If I Can't Love Her in the West Wing. And following Saturday's performance, cast spokesperson Vicki Elkert acknowledged Mrs. Judy Zeke's many years of involvement in NACI major productions. Yeah, she's certainly going to be missed. And just for your little note here, Home Hardware's how-to events on May the 17th coming up is how to insulate an exterior wall. And that will run from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. on the 17th and from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. TNR, foster care for kitty cats. Have you ever been watching television and a commercial for homeless and abandoned cats or dogs come on? We all have, and it is heartbreaking, but you can help. Some residents allow their unneutered or unspayed cat to run free and breed, unfortunately, resulting in homeless felines. If you are compassionate and love cats, I ask that you consider short-term foster care in Neepawa and area through TNR Feline Rescue. This requires very little from you, other than offering your home as shelter with food and kindness to protect and tame starving, freezing, and sometimes injured cats and kittens. These defenseless strays are then socialized and treated by a vet, all costs covered by TNR. Only then are they advertised for adoption to permanent families. TNR Rescue will provide food and litter if you require, but donating it would be very helpful. Your reward will be loving purrs and furry companionship, and knowing that you have stepped up to offer your help. Please consider offering temporary foster care, and if impossible, due to allergies, other unwelcoming pets, or time restraints, contact a friend or neighbor to consider. Contact Linda Desjardins at 967-2751 to volunteer if you can foster. And there's an adorable little photo on the right of Peaches, who is one of the cats available for adoption at their local cat rescue. How can you resist a little face like that? And major changes in the Westman High School Hockey League. The Westman High School Hockey League will have a new look, both on and off the season, at the ice next season. At the annual spring meeting held in Brandon on Wednesday, May the 3rd, it was announced that 5 new teams will join the league. 2 clubs, Rivers Elton and Melita, are returning after a 1-year hiatus, while 3 others, McCreary, Roblin, and Sandy Bay, will ice teams for the very first time. Another major change will be on the executive level, as Brad Twardick, has stepped down as league president, a position he has held for the past 3 years. He will be replaced by 2 long-term members of the WHSHL, Jason Alf from Dauphin and Corey Forbes of Glenborough. Quinton Grindle has also stepped down as treasurer, and he will be replaced by Jerry Crompane of Hamiota. Newly instituted co-president Corey Forbes says that the new teams will bring the league up to 18 teams, requiring changes to be made to the season structure. We'll be looking at a different league scenario. Last year, we played a home and home game with 13 teams, but playing a home and home with 18 teams just isn't going to work, stated Forbes. The league executive is planning on establishing a divisional structure and capping the regular season at a maximum of 25 games. The WHSHL season begins in October and operates through to March. And the photo shows the Neepawa Tigers and Verdun Golden Bears as they will face new competition in the 2017 and 2018 season, with the 5 new teams having joined. And Portage is eliminated from the Western Canada Cup. A 1-3 record at the Western Canada Cup, WCC, has ended the year for the Portage Terriers. The Manitoba Junior Hockey League champs were eliminated from the regional tournament on Thursday, May 4th, with a 5-3 loss to the host club, the Penticton Bees. After opening the WCC with a solid 5-3 victory over the Saskatchewan Junior Champions, the Battleford North Stars, the Terriers lost their final 3 games and failed to advance past the preliminary round. As for the final results, the Alberta Junior Hockey League champions, the Brooks Bandits, won the Western Canada Cup, while BCHL's Penticton Bees won the play-in game to secure a spot in the annual RBC Cup, Canada's National Junior A Championship. The top 2 finishers from the Western Canada Cup, the Dudley Hewitt Cup champions and Fred Page Cup winners, as well as the host club, will play for the national title, which begins on Saturday, May the 13th in Cobourg, Ontario. And the Chiefs chosen in WHL draft. 3 members of the Yellowhead Chiefs heard their names called during the WHL Bantam draft. A trio of Yellowhead Chiefs have been selected in the 2017 Western Hockey League Bantam draft. The event took place on Thursday, May the 4th in Calgary, and involved the WHL clubs choosing draft-eligible players born in 2002 who reside in Western Canada or the United States. Yellowhead right winger Jake Poole of Macaulay, Manitoba, was selected in round 6 with the 127th overall pick by the Kelowna Rockets. In the 2016-2017 regular season, Poole accumulated 91 points, 43 goals, 48 assists for the Chiefs. Poole's Yellowhead teammate Brody Wilson of Bertel, Manitoba, was also chosen by the Rockets when his playing rights were picked up in the 10th round, 199th overall. The 15-year-old from Bertel put together a 55-point season, 31 goals, 24 assists. A few picks later, in the 10th round at 206, the Saskatoon Blades selected defenseman Zachary Veach of Rivers, Manitoba. The 6'4", 187-pound blue liner had 37 points, 6 goals, 31 assists during the regular season. And there is a lot of statistics here about the NACI track and field team that began the outdoor season with an event in Stonewall. So I would encourage anybody that does have access to the banner to kind of read it and see what all that entailed. Now there is a second section to the banner today. It's not that much there, but the Crocus Festival at Arden is featured on the front page with a lot of photos here. In the top left corner, Abe Enns sang the Crocus song during the rainbow auction at the Lansdowne Community Center. And then the second photo at the top right, the crocus may have mostly done blooming, but on Saturday, May the 6th, Arden played host to their annual Crocus Festival. The event featured food and fun with a number of activities for the whole family. Also, part of the event was a popular photo contest. And we can see more of the winner on B9, B2, and B8 here. And above is the new fire truck, which was parked at the community center for the festival and was a popular attraction. The bottom left, Ezra Ferguson visited with the miniature horse foal at the animal farm. And on the right, Mr. Richards' fun show, which was a mix of magic and ventriloquism, was a very popular attraction for the area kids. And the photos that won the contest, Alex and Mendel Win Youth Photo Contest. The one on the top left, Erica Alex of Minnedosa, was the winner in the Youth Crocus Cluster category at this year's Crocus Festival photo contest. The contest was part of this year's Arden Crocus Festival. To see more about the contest and its winners, we'll turn on here to page 8. And Lisa Mendel of Carberry was the winner in the Youth Single Crocus category at this year's Crocus Festival photo contest. She also placed second in the Crocus Cluster category. There's just nothing like crocuses to issue in spring. And 8 Manitoba towns and cities are home to the 13 photographers who won prizes in the 2017 Wild Prairie Crocus Photo Contest at Arden this past weekend. The group includes students from Arden, Minnedosa, Neepawa, Carberry, and Plymouth. It also includes amateur adult photographers in Winnipeg, Portage la Prairie, McGregor, and Hillbury. And approximately 110 photos were entered by 31 adults and 7 youth for about $600 in prize money and a chance to be part of a unique growing photography show at Arden. The tiny village, 160 kilometers northwest of Winnipeg, is home to about 150 people and is the self-proclaimed crocus capital of Manitoba. It has hosted the photo contest for 8 years. It encourages entries from youth and adults anywhere in the province. To be eligible, the photos can only be taken during about 2 weeks in April. The crocus normally emerges around April 1st and blooms at mid-April. It is the first prairie wildflower to bloom each spring. All of the photo entries are printed and posted for public viewing and voting, one day only, at Arden's annual Crocus Festival on the first Saturday in May. The most popular 2 photos are selected by visitors at the event for the People's Choice Award. This year's People's Choice Award winners were adult Dennis Weens, retired senior photographer from Portage la Prairie, and Erica Alex, a student in Minnedosa. Prizes also are awarded in 4 classes for youth and adults. The sponsoring organization is the Lansdowne Heritage Resource and Tourism Committee at Arden, which includes the photo contest as part of its annual Crocus Festival. All winning photos are posted for a year or more on the municipal website, which is www.ardenmanitoba.ca. And all the winners are listed here. And again, I encourage you, if you have access to the banner, or go online and take a look at it, and you'll see the photos, and they're very unique. For instance, this, I don't know if you can see, but this is an antler curled over a little clump of crocuses. And that is the Neepawa banner for May the 12th. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you turn in next week. And all the best to everybody. Thank you.